The number one seed at the Baku Grand Slam in the women's under 48 kilo division was Rishoni of Israel, but she got caught early on in her first match with a beautiful Juji Gatame roll to Uki Gatame, and then finished off with a Juji Gatame. Both of these girls went on to win the bronze medals. Gold medal in the under 48 kilo class went to Rina Tatsukawa, who's transitioned from the under 52 kilo class, most likely to get away from Uta Abe. So that was her first match here. Here's a look at her second match. She's in the white judo gi in this one. Notice how flexible her legs and hips are. It's going to be pretty hard to turn over someone that's able to flatten their hip out like that. Now here's the finish, and it's an unusual injury finish. So she goes down on her knees over and over again here, about 5 times before getting the turnover. Gets to an udagarami. There's the flexibility of the legs and hips again, sliding under the opponent. Very similar, but more flexible turnover than the one we often see from people like Hamada Shuri. She fails with the Uda Gatame, but she ends up switching to reverse Kesa Gatame, and her opponent immediately taps. And the opponent, for some reason, was in a huge amount of pain. The referee was fairly quick to call for some medical assistance. Who is he going to bring? It's this big fella. We'll see in a couple of days whether he can do the same with the women's super heavyweight injuries that'll happen. And Tatsukawa would fight Tanza from Austria in the final. So Tanza there using a butterfly guard sweep to get on top and pin her opponent. Tatsukawa in the blue judo gi in this final catches her opponent with a lovely Sumi Gaishi. So a successful transition to another weight class by Tatsukawa. Now Krasniqi, the under 48 kilo Olympic champion. She's switched from the under 48 kilo class to the under 52 class for this event, and she had very mixed results. She won her first match against the Japanese player Tsubone, then lost to Pup. Got through the repechage. Now look at what happened to her in this bronze medal match. An incredible guard sweep. We'll have a look at that again in a moment. But she gets turned for this Yoko Sankaku. Her opponent straightening out the legs, kind of like a dojime. And Krasniqi taps. So notice how she steps on Krasniqi's foot with her right foot. And then she traps the leg and then uses a scissoring motion to knock Krasniqi to the floor. Once again, the right foot stepping on Krasniqi's left foot stopped her from skipping around that Sumi Gaishi attempt. Another Olympic medalist was in action yesterday. We had the bronze medal winner from Tokyo, Chelsea Giles. Here's a look at the opening Newaza sequence of her match. Very nice transitioning, moving from Ude Gatame into a Morote Sankaku here. Locks in the Sankaku rather than looking to finish with the choke, as judo referees are fairly quick to call mate. She opts to fight for a sweep, but is unable to achieve the sweep, opening the guard up once more, and then mate is called. So she won this one with a beautiful Kosoto Gari. In the semi-final, she had more success with her Newaza. So she scores a Waza Ari there. Then she looks to transition to Yoko Sankaku Gatame. She's able to control the opponent's arm. She ties it up, making it even more difficult for her opponent to escape, enabling her to control her opponent's leg. Nice tight Yoko Sankaku Gatame. Her opponent bridging hard, but not able to escape this Osai Komi attempt. Now here's a look at the final. So this is Pup, who we saw throwing Krasniqi for Ippon earlier. She's trying to get a Juji Gatame on Chelsea Giles of the UK. Giles doing a good job at escaping that. Now here, Giles was able to lock on a Sankaku, but she wasn't able to achieve the turnover. So here she's got the Sankaku on. Looks like it's nice and tight. Looked for a moment like Pup may have been tapping, but she switched, and Chelsea, trying to maneuver Pup around, decides to give up on the Sankaku, switch to another attack as Mate is called. This match went into golden score, and Pup won in golden score. The number 1 seed for the under 57 kilo category was Momo Tomaoki, and Tomaoki would face Munksadev, the local from Azerbaijan. And this has some really fun Newaza sequences. Here's a really unusual sweep, kind of like an Ochigari. And here's the finish. An attempted, I'm not sure what it would be called, perhaps it's Skier Nagi. Tomaoki looking to get to Udegarami as her opponent straightens her arm. Tomaoki switches to Kami Shiho Gatame pin. Munksadev does some incredible bridging to try and escape this pin in front of her home crowd, but it was not to be. So Momo Tamaoki of Japan taking the gold medal. Look at this bridging here. Incredibly strong bridging from Munksadev from Azerbaijan. Now these two had met previously in front of Munksadev's home crowd. We'll have a look at this one. This is from the 2018 World Team Championships. I thought this was a fun match, so I'd include it in this one here. So it starts off with a Juji Gatame attempt. Tomaoki there unceremoniously sliding down Munksadev's leg, a bit like a beginner in a pole dancing class. Once again here, hooking the leg, this time looking for Okuri Eri Jime rather than Juji Gatame. One-armed Sode, unable to get the throw. Looking for a turnover, but Munksadev's able to wind up on top of Tomaoki in her guard. Osodogari by Tomaoki. Once again looking to finish off with Osai Komi. She's controlled Munksadev's arm behind her back, and you can see the wrist control there. So Munksadev's unable to do that extremely strong bridging like we saw from her in the previous match. Here's my favorite Ippon from the men's division yesterday. Ryoma Tanaka. Nice Uchimata there. And this is my favorite Newaza Ippon from the men's category yesterday. Really beautiful Sumigaishi attack into an Okuri Eri Jime. So let's look at this one more time. Notice how he's controlling the right arm of the judoka in white, and he's trying to throw the judoka towards his right side, but the judoka in white commits to jumping towards his left side because he realizes his right arm is unable to protect him from the throw. And he uses his left leg to push the judoka further towards the left and then comes up for that Okuri Eri Jime. Let's finish this off with a fun Yoko Sankaku Gatame attempt. This was from the semi-final match in the under 57 kilo division. I believe it's Pauline Squirk from Germany against Munksadev. We saw the throw that Munksadev won with earlier in this video. But earlier in that match, she escaped a good Yoko Sankaku Gatame attempt. So I'm going to have another video up in about 3 days. I'm not sure whether it will be a video about day 2 of Baku or whether it will be on Takeshi Sasaki. There was a request for a video on Takeshi Sasaki, and I think it's going to be a good one. It's about 80% finished at the moment. So have a look at my channel page in about 3 days, or subscribe if you're interested in either of those.